guys, welcome back. It's another Tuesday Night Live, and we got a good one in store. So tonight we're going to talk with Thomas Kanemoto from P-Line and First Gen Fishing. They've got some new baits out that are pretty awesome. So he's going to break those down, some of the new line that P-Line's coming out with. And we've got old Two Fish Johnny back with us, Johnny Myers.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
It's the evening, bud, Mr. Retirement. And we got Mr. Jones. What's up, Shane? How you doing,
What
bud?
is up, everybody? Hope you're all having a great Tuesday night.
Yeah, Shane's got some good news that happened this week. He's getting ready to move into the new pad.
Yeah, seems like all the stress is over. No, it's not.
It's
Just
begun.
The fun begins.
Thankfully, the fun does begin. Thank goodness. Looking forward to being out in the country. So
awesome. And the man of the hour, Thomas, how you doing, bud?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good,
Thanks for
Thomas.
having
How
me
you
on.
doing?
Good, man. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Get some of that juice on the good,
Yeah,
the
I'm
good
still
products
pulling
you guys
some
are
stuff
slinging.
out. Show you guys.
Guess who went to Eastman
So,
today?
Thomas.
Oh, wait. Guess who went to
What's that, John?
Eastman today? Damien and
Oh.
I.
Oh, you guys did?
Yeah.
Was there another double-digit caught?
I'm gonna have to keep you in suspense.
Oh, okay.
How's that?
my goodness, guys.
That's funny. So, Thomas, you're not only with P-Line, you are a fisherman. You fished all the Wild West stuff, the Apex Tour. So, give us a little background, bud, on yourself.
Yeah, so, I mean, am I frozen for you guys?
No.
I'm frozen on
Nope.
my
Nope,
side.
you're good.
Okay, cool. I'm showing frozen on mine, but it's all good. So I grew up fishing. I mean, so you guys probably know my brother from the YouTube channel as well on the Bass Hookup. We grew up fishing. My dad fished tournaments with my uncle while I was growing up. They won a couple TOCs themselves. So I grew up in the boat, grew up with a rod. And so I always knew that I wanted to do something in fishing, and just so happened it turned out perfectly. Did a little internship with Jeff Robles and Associates back in the day. Was a pro staff with them, with Okuma and some of the other lines they had, and then ended up getting the position at G. Pucci and Son. So we represent, P-Line. We have Beckman Nets, Pucci product, which you see all over the place, terminal product, and then now First Gen Fishing. So, yeah, it's a little background.
Excellent.
What's on your
Yes,
first gen?
Tom.
What's your most sales on an item, a product you have? What's your
Which one
bestseller?
sells the most?
Yeah, what's your bestseller?
Bestseller as of right now, believe it or not, is our jaw dropper.
Okay.
We had a few recent videos come out showcasing what it looks like for mid strolling, which obviously taking over the world.
Yes,
The forward
yes.
facing sonar, right? And it's finally kind of cat out of the bag type deal where we haven't had a great video showcasing what the jaw dropper really looks like when you mid stroll it. But Bass Geek, you guys might know who he is, Hank.
Yeah.
He put out a video just a few weeks back showing what it truly looks like when you got a flukes type bait on the back of it, or minnow bait on the back of it, and you just give little pops like you're working a spook. But any mid column type retrieve, if you just give it some spook type pops, it actually walks the dog like 2 feet back and forth. So it looks like that fleeing shad. So it's just a completely different action than what a lot of guys are using, little ball head. And that's just little rocks back and forth. But this one has that walking back and forth.
Yeah, like a Zara spook walk. Yeah.
Exactly. And the fish can't stand it. And it's just a completely unique mid strolling or strolling type head that works great. And I think really its price point is killer. We sell 4-pack of those for $5.99.
Yeah.
So it's with a mustad hook and all. So we've been just slaying it with those lately. And of course, the Copperhead. It seems like whoever has a Copperhead, they can't keep them in stock right now.
That's right.
So and thanks in big part to Damien back in November when he was at Clear Lake. I think a lot of people, kind of learned about it, that it was coming out from that video, and then probably had it in their notepad, like, hey, when those get released, I need to get some.
Exactly.
And it's finally in stock.
Yeah.
It seems like even someone like Tackle Warehouse, as soon as we ship them, they're low or out of stock on it very quickly. So,
Yeah, I got to tell you about that day. So I'm throwing the jackhammer, right? I never caught a fish on it. And Damien was whacking him on that on the Copperhead. He's like, "Hey, you want to try one?" I go, "No, no, no, no. I got to make this work. I got to make this work." I cut that jackhammer off and put a spinnerbait on and started catching fish. And he
so
caught that.
you were saying you catch on spirit. So like I don't like. Listen, I use a jackhammer still. I mean, I don't like to talk badly, especially about a jackhammer. #1 selling, bladed jig out there, and I use it. What I just tell people is, look, a Copperhead, it's just another tool for fishermen.
It is. Yeah.
For the longest time, bladed jigs are put into one box, right? Tight wiggle, like a little bit of sound, like a low thumping type sound. They all tried to be like the one, right?
Right.
We did not. We're on this side, okay? So we're just another tool, just like you have crankbaits, right? We all have tight wiggling crankbaits, wide wobbling crankbaits. We have rattling crankbaits. We got silent crankbaits. And a lot of times you go out to the lake, you got both of those tied on because sometimes they want it loud, sometimes they want it silent. And so that is kind of what we want to show people in a bladed jig. Sometimes they're going to want a jackhammer, and other times they're going to want something loud coming through their zone, a Copperhead. And not just loud, but I mean, it works great, obviously, ripping around grass. It sounds like a rattle trap coming through grass.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's going to make
sounds like an LV,
noise. Copper BBs in them.
Exactly. So it really is just in a class of its own.
Yes.
As far as sound and vibration in a bladed jig. And we try our hardest, as tournament anglers, to put in all the right characteristics in a bait, right? Well, we want all the features too. So hand-tied skirts and a good long shank hook, the Mustad Ultra Point. It's actually a spinnerbait hook molded in. The bait keeper's good, and we have that custom blade with we put in those 2 notches. If anyone's ordered them, Tackle Warehouse has actually had the wrong image for a while. And the current bait has these notches in the side of the blade. So I'll show you if you guys could see that right there. You guys able to see that?
Yeah.
So these notches in the blade, and what these actually do is if you get caught, if you're fishing hydrilla or crispy grass, you get caught in that stuff, and when you rip it, these act as little saws. And they cut right through the grass, no problem.
Wow.
So
nice.
Got a little custom blade, and so that's actually. My brother, he just went out to the Delta last weekend with Greg Blanchard, and they had about 20 pounds. And if you've seen on the Instagram, he has one about 6 pounds that he's holding up. And he caught that fish. It's choked it on this color right here. That's the burnt craw.
That's a good looking color.
Just got me one of those.
Pumpkin orange with black flake, and then that bright orange head.
All the good colors, yeah.
Yep. So those are those copper BBs right there in that head. That's what that blade hits against as it rocks from side to side. It hits against those BBs. And if any of you guys have one and you've used it for any length of time, you'll actually look at the back side of the blade, and you'll see how it's been rubbing against the head, and you'll actually see marks like paint chipped off right there before the BB. And you could feel it in the rod. That's for sure. You're gonna know that it's hitting and it's making
almost
noise.
Immediate too.
Yeah, if you use braid, which I don't recommend, but if you use braid with a bladed jig, you will hear it through the guide and the rod, like the butt of the rod. You'll actually hear the sound of the Copperhead. And it's funny in that video with Damien on Clear Lake. When he's throwing it under the docks, you hear the sound reverberating echoing from the dock, the posts and everything. Like, it's loud. So
that day when Damien was throwing it, he purposely horsed every fish he caught just to test the bait, make sure that the clip was strong enough to withstand horsing fish in. And he's like, look at this thing, it's perfect. Then he catches that 9.5, and I was like, holy moly.
That guy's got so many almost double D's to double D's. It's crazy.
Yeah, he is. He's a heck of a stick for sure.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
So on
I
the
couldn't.
Copperhead, what are you putting on as a trailer? What's your go-to? I mean, for the guys that are looking to throw it and want a little bit of juice on it.
Sure. For me, I like two trailers that I use the most. One is the missile bait spunk shad, or like a hog farmer,
Mm-hmm.
that plastic chunk, or I use the kamikaze swammer.
Okay.
Those two, those are my go-tos right there. And there's a lot of great matchup colors for the bait. But I mean,
Oh,
your favorite, whatever your favorite is. I mean, we caught them on a fluke on the back. We caught them with the Zaco. So it's really just your personal preference. But I mean, you'll see in the video, I think my brother is probably throwing the kamikaze, either one of the kamikaze or the spunk shad on the back when he catches that 6-pounder.
Now that
That
kamikaze,
flamethrower and green pumpkin flamethrower, that one there would be a good combo.
Oh yeah.
So the one bait has like a paddle tail, and one's a straight tail. Is that what
So
you're saying?
so I definitely recommend throwing it with a straight tail.
Okay.
They're both straight tails. Actually, the kamikaze swammer has two little tails that come off of it. They're not boot tails, but they both kick in the water really well.
And they make the bait dart left and right, basically.
So that's the other cool thing about the Copperhead is, and this is something that, as bait developers, we wanted something that had the same action as a jackhammer. And for a lot of other bladed jigs, it's hard to recreate because obviously Z-Man has the patent, right? On the
blade.
connection from the blade to the head. So because of that patent, and a lot of people don't know this, but because of the way the bait is created by Z-Man, because there's no split ring there, the blade is able to hit the head, right? So it does two things. It creates a little bit of noise and it makes the bait unstable, which is what a lot of fishermen want, which you might not know you want, but when you're throwing one, every once in a while, it's going to take a little dart to the left or a little dart to the right, just from its deflecting against itself. And so for a while, we pondered what we could do. And then I came up with the idea like, hey, what if because we know we have to use a split ring. There's nothing wrong with the split ring, by the way. It's just the fact that it does not allow it to hit the head. So what we've figured out is, hey, what if we have something protruding from the head, something that will allow that blade now to hit against the front of the head? And so we messed around. We bought a bunch of jigs. My brother's the one that actually does all the creation, like in his garage. He drilled holes in the heads of these jigs, found the it's just shot BB. So he got some of that. He started super gluing them in. He messed around with different blades, and none of them would work. Like, it would blow out right away. And I mean, these things don't take, aren't overnight deals. So he finally found the blade that would work while it's hitting against the head. And then we went from there. We knew we had something special because as soon as we threw it out, you could hear it. And every once in a while, if you've seen the video of the Copperhead, you'll see this, that it'll hunt like
left and right.
Every few seconds, it'll chop out to the left, to the right, really erratically. I mean, more than any other bladed jig, this thing is gonna dart left and right as you're reeling it back, which is a great action. It gets a lot of bites. So you don't have to impart any action, in your rod if you don't want to. You just reel a little faster, and it's gonna dart left and right. So
it's a great design for sure.
Yes, it is.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, this is the time. I mean, we're getting them in a lot of stores, and it seems to be that a lot of people can't get their hands on them fast enough.
That's a good thing.
I mean, it's fantastic. I love seeing something that we've designed, people liking it, and using it, and I can't wait to see fish pictures. So if you guys have bought these things, anyone watching, and are catching some fish on it, please share those pictures on like Instagram or Facebook, because we love seeing that stuff. As creators, we want to see those
Right.
fish catches.
For sure.
Well,
and
for me, I can't honestly wait to throw it at night, man. To be honest with you, on some of these lakes, I can't wait for this time change. Can't wait to get out there in the warmer weather and spend some time throwing it out there.
Oh, we still got.
That's good.
We still got 2 months of rain still.
Yeah,
Shane.
I know.
No.
Hey,
I know. Hey, I'm antsy. What do I say?
I'm ready
What do
for
I
hot
say?
weather too.
I know.
hey, we have the perfect amount of water in the reservoirs for
I
anyone
know,
out there
right?
that is waiting. Don't wait to go fishing.
No.
It's now.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
It is now
Yep.
fish on the Delta are beautiful right
everywhere.
now. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone
Healthy.
thought the Delta was no good after last year. Let me tell you, it was just the year. It was just
Yeah.
the amount of rain we had, the amount of rush of water that we had come through the
Mhm.
system was just too much for those fish. This year is a normal amount of water that we had, and the water is beautiful. The water in the Central Delta, South Delta, you can see down 2-3 feet easy.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Nice.
And the water's 56 degrees. So
Yeah.
this is the time. If you're going to go catch a big one,
Now's
now.
the time. Yeah.
Oh, your brother put up a pretty good bag. What was that, a couple weeks ago?
He put up 24, and he lost
Yep.
they lost a giant too. And then
Wow.
he just went, like I said, with Greg, and they had another pretty right at close to 20 pounds for their best 5. I think they had 4 3 1/4 to 3 3/4 pounders, and then 1 pushing 6 on the Copperhead.
Nice.
Nice.
So they caught over. They said they caught over like 22, 23 fish. So
That's a good
that's all
day.
on
Yeah.
reaction. All
Yeah,
on
that's a-
reaction. So if you guys
that's a
want to
good day.
catch fish,
It's the way to
it's
catch them.
now.
Yep.
And I'm sure the lakes are blowing up too. I mean, you see the
Mhm.
limits on Shasta. Comanche's got to be good right now. Barry S is kicking out big bags. It's the time to go out for sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
Tolik's
it is.
kicking out big bags for some people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
For some
McClure.
people.
For some people.
Yeah,
30
I've seen all the
pound
plates.
limit the other day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Saturday, 31 pounds.
Yeah.
that's
Crazy.
right. Yep.
For
Yep.
sure.
So that's just the Copperhead. I don't know if you want to go in deeper on some of the other one. I mean,
Heck yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go.
the main seller for a little while there was the split blade spinnerbait, right? Because my brother, obviously, when he fished that tournament with his buddy, they had 24 pounds, and every fish was caught on our split blade spinnerbait.
Mhm.
And I know the one that everyone wants that they can't get because it's out of stock everywhere. That's this one right here. That's the spring craw colored. So
Right.
what we do with the split blade is actually they're half painted blades, right? So a lot of people, they just see that and they think, oh, it's just half painted. So I could see why. It's got a different flash in the water, which it does. There's a pop of flash and there's a pop of color every time it rotates, right? But the main, like a big part of that is there's a weight displacement on the blades because half of them are painted. It has more thump. When it spins, it's thumping harder than other spinnerbaits because half the blade weighs more than the other half. So every time it's spinning, it's thumping hard. So it's perfect for the legs, for the Delta. It's just a different feel on the fish's lateral line than what they felt from other spinnerbaits. And then obviously the wire, if you guys have bought any, the frame is really light. It's a super stainless steel, but it's a super light, flexible. Like if you know the old piano wire, this is like a 0.37 super stainless steel. So it's durable, it's strong. It's going to catch 30, 40 fish, but it's very light. So the whole entire spinnerbait pulses as you reel it back. So it gives a lot of action. So and then we do with these spinnerbaits, they're hand-tied skirts. We got wire bait keeper on them. It's a 5.0 Mustad Ultra Point hook.
Nice.
So they're definitely high-end quality spinnerbaits that are going to get more bites than other spinnerbaits just simply because that wire is nice and thin and the fish get a different feel off the blade thumping. So that's the spring craw. And we got a lot of other color options. Actually, when my brother was just out with Greg, to have you guys know before the video, he catches most all his fish on a white and chartreuse version. So it's not just the spring craw. If you guys are out there looking just for the spring craw, need the spring craw, yes, that catches them. But the other colors catch them too, and you'll see that in the videos coming up. So don't be afraid to pick up a different color.
Was he throwing a double willow with one gold and one silver?
Double willow. Yep, double willow. The white and chartreuse version. I actually have one here if you want to check it out. I'll pull one out as I go. But yeah, all of them are double willows. And we've added, that half pop of color on all the blades, on every single one of them. So like this is the white and chartreuse. He just caught them on. White and chartreuse, that smaller blade is it's silver.
Oh, half painted, yeah.
White with some chartreuse glitter, and the bigger one's gold with some chartreuse glitter.
Hold it up a little bit higher. A little bit higher. There you go. Now we can see it. Very good.
It's hard for me to tell because my video's super lagged, so I can't see myself.
Okay. Yeah, that looks really good. That's a good looking spinnerbait.
There you go.
Yeah,
so
very good.
That's that version, and that
has one, the 5/0 again.
Was that
5/0 hook? The 5/0 hook again?
That's right. It's a 5/0 hook, and you can see right there.
Yeah, very nice.
Got the wire bait keeper on there, so you can put on your favorite trailer too. During the spring, and I'll give you guys this insight. During the spring, I don't throw a trailer on my spinnerbaits. They like the skirt, and because the frame is so light, this skirt, as you're reeling this thing through the water, it's shimmying so much. It has got a lot of action without a trailer. And they seem to, in the springtime, in the pre-spawn, they eat the whole thing. They like the skirt. Now, as you get deeper in the year, then I like to put, a Kitech or a boot tail type trailer on the back, either a 3.8 or 4.3 on the back of these spinnerbaits. But right now, you really don't need one unless you're seeing that fish are missing it, which generally in the pre-spawn, they don't really miss it. They normally eat it really well. So just a tip for you guys. If you guys are, using a Kitech or something else and you're catching fish, but you're also going through a lot of plastic, you don't really need the plastic. You can just throw the spinnerbait by itself and still get as many bites as you're getting. So
you're finding that this true to be on most lakes as well as the Delta.
On the lakes, I do like to throw a little boot tail, and I'll show you that spinnerbait here. So like this is the compact version. This is a 1/2 ounce compact spinnerbait, split blade, and this is our purple haze. So this one has that 2 silver blades. One's half purple with purple flake, and the other one's just half purple flake on the blade. Same 5/0 hook. Most of the weight is on the shank of the hook with a bait keeper as well, and you could put a boot tail on the back there. And for spotted bass, I do like a little more action, but when I'm fishing the Delta, I'm fishing around cover. I don't throw a trailer hook, and I don't throw plastic on the back for this pre-spawn.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's personal preference, but
you think that's because they're more aggressive, obviously, right? Right now with them, getting ready for spawn, they're feeding.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely they're aggressive, but I really truly feel for some reason the largemouth in the pre-spawn, they're attracted to the skirt. Gotcha. They like the skirt, the pulse of the skirt. Like when I throw a buzzbait, I don't put a trailer on either. Like this is the one time a year if I'm throwing a double buzz, I just throw a skirt. Yeah. Any other time of year, I'm taking the skirt off, I'm putting a toad on, I'm putting a Kitech on, something, with different action. But just a tip for you guys. If you guys normally put a trailer on, I try in a day of pre-fish or you're out there fun fishing, try not putting any trailer on. It truly has a big impact. As you can see, I mean, my brother, those 24 pounds, no trailer hook, no trailer. He's gone out since then. No trailer hook, no trailer, and it's worked well. Oh, my boys just got home. Hey, buddy, I'm on a call.
Hey, Thomas, we got a question here from we like him long on Facebook. Pua. He was wondering, do you prefer a 3/8 ounce or a 1/2 ounce for the Delta?
I throw a 1/2 ounce a lot of times, but in this last the last tournament, or the last time I went out, I threw a 3/8, and I like that one too. The only thing is, look, if you want to keep your bait in a zone for a long time, then you throw the 3/8 ounce. Okay, like if you're fishing a trough in the Delta, I like the 3/8 ounce. Like if I'm just fishing troughs. But if a lot of times in the pre-spawn, I want my bait to be at the root of the toolies, like at the bottom. And so that's why I throw a 1/2 ounce a lot, because I'm never looking at my spinner bait. And that is another tip for you guys that are fishing spinner bait on the Delta. A lot of people want to fish them up too high in the column. You need to cast that thing out, slow roll it till it hits the bottom, and keep it on the bottom. You don't want to see it. You don't want to be, reeling it too fast. You want those blades to just barely be turning down there near the bottom, hitting the roots of the toolies, and that's when you get a lot of the big bites. It's not when you're mid column.
Yep.
You hear that? Fish the toolies this time of year.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, I say that, but then the next tournament you go out, someone went on the rocks. But I mean, I'm just saying, no matter what, if you're fishing the Delta, even if I'm fishing a trough, I'm trying to pendulum that thing on the rocks. I'm not trying to fish it, 2 feet off the bottom. Mm-hmm. That's not, I'm never trying to do that. I'm trying to keep it as close to the bottom as possible all the time. Do you want to say hi?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, buddy.
This is my buddy Owen. This is my middle child right here. He's the fisherman of the family so far. He loves it.
He's the referee.
He's been under the weather lately. I'll let you go back, buddy.
Yeah, he looks tired.
Yeah, he's under the weather. Yeah, the sickness is going around like crazy.
All the blooms and blossoms is getting the allergies going, and you get sick, huh?
Yep. So yeah, I mean, the spinner baits, we have the full size, we have in a 3/8 and 1/2 ounce, and then the compact version we have 3/8, 1/2, and 3/4. So just whatever. I do recommend that 3/4 if you're fishing those spotted bass lakes, and then moving up from there. A lot of people are, set on using a compact spinner bait these last couple of years. I'm trying to bring back the full size, because that's where we get a lot of our big ones on the Delta. But I know a lot of people, and a lot of it's probably, they're watching Greg on his videos. He's using that finesse spinner bait, and guys are seeing people use those finesse spinner baits. The full size still works, guys. It still catches them, especially when you got that stained water like we have right now, where it's putting off a good thump. You generally get bigger bites on the full. So definitely check that out.
Yeah.
So you have a buzz bait as well coming in.
We have buzz bait. So the one that's most, I guess, innovative, or what people have never seen before, is the introvert. So we kind of unique names for them. This is the introvert, and then the double metal is the extrovert. So the introvert here, 2-3 prop plastic blades on it with the clackers. And it sounds a lot like a plopper as it comes over the top of the water. And
they're counter rotating.
Counter rotating, that's right. Mm-hmm. So the water's being pushed to the outside. Mm-hmm. And because it's a double plastic version, this thing will almost nearly float, especially if you get around hydrilla or some of that hard grass, like on Clear Lake and stuff like that. You could pause it on top of the weeds, and then you could like pop it, and it'll keep coming. Like it won't sink. So that's the double plastic. You could work it extremely slow. It gets big bites. I highly recommend the guys that are tournament fishing the double plastic. It is killer for some big bites. And then we have the 5/0 hook on there, and we did put a wire bait keeper again on the buzz bait. We did not hand tie the skirt. It's the only one that we did not hand tie skirt for, and just purposefully, because we know that guys are going to take the skirt off at certain times of the year, put on a horny toad or your favorite toad or swim bait on the back. So we try to make it easy for them, so you could take that off and put it back on if you wanted to. But yeah, this thing, it's what's nice about it is there's some other double buzz baits out there Not with a clacker, you know, a lot of them don't have a clacker, but a lot of the double buzz baits out there are pretty big. This one is more of a compact version of a double buzz. So when you see it on the shelf or you're throwing it, it's not intimidating. You know, a 1 pounder is going to get that no problem. You know, it's small, but also it catches big. It'll catch double digits too. You know, it puts off enough water. So we have 4 colors of the buzz baits. That's the black, but we call this one black. But you got a little red in that. The clackers are red, and then the skirt itself has some like
purple in it,
some purple and some red flake in it. So it looks really good coming through the water. So we got that one. That's
hold that back up. Hold that back up and point it straight at the camera. The blade. Yeah. So that's actually most buzz baits that actually V'd right there. This one goes straight across, and the clackers are designed a little differently. They're actually straight across instead of going up and down. So a lot of the double buzz baits are way different than that. This is a unique double buzz. Plus, it's a 3-blade, and they're counter rotating. So when you have both blades turning the same direction, the bait will go to one side.
Yeah, this one
will pull straight. Yeah, so that's huge. That's huge. That's a great design. Yeah. Great design. I love that.
Yeah. So that's that. I mean, that's the plastic one, and then you got this is, as you can hear it already, this is the double metal one right here. So again, counter rotating blades, very clanky, squeaky sounding double buzz.
That's a squealer.
That's white. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a squealer.
Yep, squeaky guy.
We got a question from Jay. He owns Hooked Up and I Own. Is it under the first gen label, or is it under P Line?
These are all first gen fishing baits.
First gen
fishing. The logo looks like this right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So
he's probably going to be ordering some into the shop.
All first gen. Yes. All branded first gen. Anything we do bass bait oriented or baits that my brother and I design are all under first gen fishing. And we have, if you guys want to check it out, the website, has all these baits. You could check them out on our website. We actually, have them all there. If you want to, see all the color options and things, you can see them all there. And actually, I held that up just a sneak peek at what's going to hit the stores here soon. And that's our, people don't even know about this one. These are our football head drop shot weights. So as we know, football head shape comes through gravel, rock, hardcover, better than any other shape, right? I mean, we could all agree that shape comes through cover better, other than weeds, right? Vegetation. Well, no other company has made a football head drop shot weight.
Nobody has, yeah.
And it's amazing to me that all the weights for drop shot fishing are pretty much designed to go straight down. But as we know, most anglers that use a drop shot are casting it and then pulling it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be money on a free rig.
So here's the deal, and this is what I was going to explain. This weight right here is about to do a lot of things, because this is like the most multi-purpose weight I think out there right now. You could Carolina rig with this weight. You could free rig with this weight. You could drop shot obviously with this weight. You could use this as a wobble head weight. And this is killer, guys. What I do is I'll take, a big 1/2 ounce version on a spinning rod. I'll run my line through that, because it's not a clip. It's a tie-on. It's a rolling swivel.
Yeah.
Nice. So nice.
So you're going to run your line through that and put like a number 1 hook on it and put a 2.8 Kitech on the reservoirs. And you're going to show the fish a Kitech down on the bottom in 30 feet of water, 40 feet of water, where they haven't seen that version from a wobblehead type, bait.
You said it has a swivel in it?
Yeah, it's a rolling swivel that's in there. You can see a little better on these ones right here. I could open one up so you could see it a little better. But guys, it really is truly like you see that right there?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
So there's that.
Very good.
You're just going to run your line straight through it, and obviously it spins, so you could as you're
Nice.
working your bait, it's gonna help get the bait to move and stuff. So we make those from 1/8 ounce all the way up to 1/2 ounce in just straight lead and then black. And they are lead, but yeah, awesome for a free rig. I mean, if you're working, you know, the rock piles on the lakes with a free rig, there's no better weight than a football head shaped free rig weight,
I
right?
can't tell you how many weights I've lost free rigging.
Yep.
You know, you could put a ring on it, and then put a straight shank hook.
Yep.
And then you get to throw anything you want on that.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Or EWG.
So
yeah.
That's what I was, you know, there's not really a version that you could throw any hook you want for a wobblehead type bait or a free rig on the back. And this one you can. You just run your line through it, put a bobber stop if you want, and then put whatever hook you want, whatever bait you want on the back. It really opens up, you know, your possibilities. And I will, you know, tell you guys one other thing. You know, my brother and I, we designed a whole new rig, and there's a video out on it. It's called, we're calling it the first gen rig because it is a new rig to the industry. And that is, and I'll explain it to you guys. So it's amazing for finesse fishing. It requires a mosquito hook or an exposed hook. But what you do is you put a bobber stop up your line, and this is gonna win tournaments. I'm telling you right now. You're gonna put a bobber stop on your line first. Then you take a mosquito hook or an exposed hook, and you just free put it through the eyelet with the hook facing up, just like as if you're finishing your drop shot tie, right? But you don't tie on the hook. You're just gonna free float it like a reverse free rig. Put it on, put on a number 5mm bead or another bobber stop, and then you're gonna tie one of these on with a good knot, Palomar knot, whatever, San Diego Jam. Tie on this. So now you got the weight, you're going to have a bead, you're going to have your free floating hook on your line, and then you're going to put a bobber stop. Your bobber stop's going to be up your line however high you want it. Okay? And then you could use so if you're fishing 30 feet deep, you would never throw a wacky rig Senko, would you? A weightless. I mean, some people would. But now you're
3
talking
hours
about
later,
putting your bobber stop 5 feet up your line,
Right.
fishing 40 feet of water with a 4 or 5 inch weightless Senko. You cast it out. Your weight's going to hit the bottom first. Your hook, your wacky rig Senko will be 5 feet up your line, and it's going to fall like a weightless wacky rig those final 5 feet. So if you're fishing fish that are near the bottom, it's incredible, guys. The fish have never seen it before. And every other rigging of a hook, there's always going to be pressure on the front of the hook to pull the bait nose down, right? But because of this rigging, it'll keep your bait horizontal at all times. So it's the most natural fluid movement of either a roboworm or a leech or whatever your favorite plastic is on the back. It's the most natural fluid movement you could have from a plastic. Actually, we put out that video. My brother put it out. And weeks later, whoever came in 8th place as an AM in the one bass on Shasta, he came back and commented that was instrumental in him coming in 8th place in the tournament. That was pretty cool because that was the first we've ever shown that rigging. And someone already used it to come in a top 10 in the tournament. So I'm telling you, that right there, sweet. If you guys were listening or want to go back and listen again to how you exactly rig that, it's going to win tournaments. I'm telling you right now, because the bait, the way it moves is different than any other rigging that you would do. And it works incredibly well, whether you're using forward facing sonar or not. In fact, forward facing is great with it because you see the fish down there. And when you cast out, say you got your Senko 5 feet up your line or your fluke or your leech or whatever, you see the fish actually come up and get it as it's falling down to them because it's weightless, you know?
Yeah,
coming
that's
down.
awesome.
And what's cool is it's unlike people are going to think, oh, it's this free rig, right? Because the bait's falling on the initial fall. But what's different is when you use a free rig, pretty much when your bait gets to your weight, it's staying really close to that weight. Back. But with this rig, if you lift up your rod 1 foot and drop your weight back down, your bait's a foot off the bottom again. Every time you lift your weight off the bottom, your bait is going to be left wherever that weight came up. It's left there, and it's going to suspend and slowly fall back down to the bottom. It's very finesse and works incredibly well. Even with a 2.8 Kitech, you use it and pull it along the bottom, and that thing will kick a little bit and suspend and fall. It works really well. It's super finessey. Worked great for the West Coast lakes out here.
Nice.
So,
and when can we expect those to be out?
They are hitting stores right now. We're shipping them out to stores. We just started shipping today, so stores are going to start receiving these.
Yeah,
soon.
everything you've shown so far, you've got it and you're shipping to stores, correct?
That's right. Yeah, all the other baits, they're in stores. You could find them now. These weights are not going to see right now.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Tackle Warehouse has the copperheads, the spinner baits, and the buzz baits there. So if you guys are looking, call Jay up at Hooked. He'll get them ordered and coming to you guys. We got avenues we can get them to you.
Yep, absolutely. And then I know
The
probably
Brave.
running long, but I got to tell you about this line too from P-Line.
I'm looking forward to it. And don't forget about the other first gen products, guys. You got the jaw droppers, you got the top spins. That top spin, man, I caught about a 7-pound spot at Willard's last year with it. It's an awesome bait, so don't sleep on those ones either.
Yeah, no, the top spin is still just been doing great things for us too. And so yeah, definitely check it out. And like I said, the jaw dropper is killing them right now, and it works great as a strolling type bait with a minnow on the back, or as a swim bait head. I mean, obviously, you've seen, I've done top 10 in tournaments with that, just with a 2.8 or 3.3 on the back of that. Works extremely well. So yeah, I definitely want to go over this real quick for you guys, and that's our the new P-Line Endurex braided line. Guys, it's a zero fade braid. So what we've done differently is in the process of coloring the braid. Okay, so every other braid out there, it starts out as white. That's the material. You weave it, you weave it together to make the strand count. And then after it's done, the process is done, it goes through a color coding process. And then some companies, including ourselves, we take a coating on top of that color, like TCB, like we have our X braid, which is a great braided line as well. If you like that coating and the slickness, we have that braid, but that has a coating that goes over the color to keep the color on a little longer as well. And a lot of braids have that. What's different about this braid is before the fibers are woven, every single fiber within this braid is pre-dyed. So every fiber within the strands is this color. So we actually have a lifetime warranty on the fade retention or the color retention on this line. So if you guys ever have fade in your line, you could send it back to us and we'll send you a new spool. We're that, confident in the line. It's an 8-strand, so it's slick, it's smooth. There's no coating on it. There's no heat treatment, so it's nice and soft. Casts extremely well, and it has all the great characteristics of a good 8-strand. Plus, it doesn't fade, so I'm like, it's a no-brainer. It's a winner, for me. And we make that's the electric green color here. We also have a monster green, which is your traditional dark green. And then we have a midnight black. So for you guys that like to punch and frog and things like that around dark areas and shadows, a lot of the bass fishermen have, putting 50 and 65 pound black on their gear. And then, that bright green, people are, a lot of times we'll use it 10, 15, 20 pound test on spinning gear. So
no more need for the Sharpie on the braid with that, the black stuff.
Nope. No more Sharpie. Awesome. The black is going to stay black. So what's nice about that is as a tournament angler, right? If we have a braid that's been on our reel for a year and we go out and fish a tournament and it's now yellowish white or very light green,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we punching all day and we got a couple bites. It's always in the back of our mind, like, oh man, did it make any difference, you think, to me? Like, do you think the fish, like, would I have gotten a couple more bites if I put new braid on and it was dark and it looked like that? Wipe all that out of your, thought process when you use the Endurex, because it's going to be black. It's going to be dark green. It's going to be bright green. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You could have total confidence when you're going fishing. It's not that, it's you. If you haven't got it. So it's not the line. It's not the fact that the fish, could see your line or not. It's on you. So yeah, that's the new Endurex, and we actually have that in 150 yarders. We have it in 300 yard spools, and then we have big, 2,500 yard bulk spools as well with the Endurex, which is great. So if you go up to some of the stores, might be carrying the bulk spools, you go up and fill your reels up with that. So, and I'm sorry guys for the Endurex. I know a lot of you maybe have tried to buy it, and it's, the size you want might be sold out. It did incredibly well when we released this, and we're airing it in from overseas to get more in stock, to continue flooding the shelves with it and filling them up. So if you haven't been able to get the size you're looking for yet, keep checking, because we are getting more in consistently. Every other week we get another air freight shipment come in, and we're sending it out to stores.
Nice. So, well, have you been on the water lately, Thomas?
Yeah. So I went out pretty much the day before my brother went out in that tournament, and I found a key spot and caught him on that split blade. And then I knew, so that day was flat calm, bad conditions. I mean, it was just not a single ripple anywhere on the water, and the tide was real slow. So I knew the next day it was calling for a storm. So I told my brother, I said, if I caught him today, and I caught a decent one and I got bites, you're going to smack him, when you go out there. And so sure enough, he went out, fished through some of the water I had fished, got maybe one bite, and he got 8 to 10 bites on that same water, just on a different day with more water movement. There was good, strong, 15 to 20 mile per hour wind. Rain was on its way. So, those days make a big difference out there on the Delta right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So your Delta report, guys, spinnerbait, no trailer, and they're eating it. Get the split blades, go throw them on the Delta. No trailer hook. Let her eat.
Let her eat.
That's
and you'll
awesome.
See in the video he has coming out. And Greg's going to have a video he makes, and my brother's going to have a video he makes and puts out.
Good.
And on that video, they catch him on the split blade, and my brother catches the big one on the Copperhead. So,
nice.
Just it's a preference thing. I know a lot of guys, in the last, it seems like in the last, I would say, what are we in 2024? Shoot, it's been so long now. It's been 15 years that people have been throwing bladed jigs more than anything else. I think it's been since I started fishing tournaments with my brother back in 2008. And so 16 years ago. And that was right when the Phoenix bladed jig came out. And that was when Brett Height had won the first FLW, National Guard tournament on the Delta, and things went crazy with that Phoenix bladed jig, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much from it's been that long since there's been way more bladed jigs being thrown than spinnerbaits on the Delta. So for that long, fish are seeing, bladed jigs out there, and they're seeing the same type of bladed jig. So pick up a Copperhead, show them something different, give them a different sound, and it makes a big difference. Or pick up some spinnerbaits and show them a spinnerbait, because these tournaments are being won in the last couple of years. There's been more tournaments won on the Delta on a spinnerbait again than ever before.
Shh, don't tell nobody.
You throw a Copperhead on one rod, put your spinnerbait on the other, and you got a 1-2 punch right there. You're good to go.
Yep, that's right. And those buzz baits are about getting ready to work. I can't wait. Next week, get ready, guys.
Yeah.
Next week, I'm seeing temps in the 70s. And as soon as we get the water temp up to about 58,
look
the
out.
double buzz is going to be a player.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So get ready for that.
All right, man. I know you got a sick one, so we'll let you get back to the little man over there. And I appreciate you hopping on.
Greatly appreciate it, Thomas.
Giving us some of the
that was some
juice on the good products. You guys
great
got
info.
coming out,
Great
out.
Oh
info.
yeah, I'm happy to do it, guys. Whenever you guys need me to come on, and I see a lot of questions going through. I wasn't able to answer any of these, but I'd love to be able to answer them, or help out with some of these questions that you have got going
what do
on.
we got question wise? A lot of guys loving the Copperhead.
The
We got
jaw
one from
dropper.
Max Lee, which is kind of unique. He's wondering if you guys could possibly design a bigger jaw dropper lip for summertime cranking.
Oh, so here's the deal with the lip. Okay, it's a lead lip. It's not going to, the lip itself doesn't make the bait wobble like a crankbait. Okay, the lip displaces water when you impart action in your rod. So if you pull the rod like you would a spook or a topwater bait, it's going to move the water left or right across that lip. So it's going to make it flush out to one side. And then when you pull your rod again, doesn't matter which direction you pull your rod, it's going to flush it out the other way. So it's going to make it jump back to the left. And then you pull again and it's going to flush it out to the right. So it's not going to give, like if we make a bigger jaw dropper, it's not going to give it any type of crankbait type action to it at all. It's just going to, in fact, the lighter we go, the more action it has. The heavier we go, the less action it's going to have. So that's why we made a finesse, a small version and a finesse version. And maybe in the future, we might make a 1/8 ounce, as they're selling really well. We may go that route. And so, yeah, I mean, that's that. I hope that answers that question for you.
Yeah.
Not a crank.
Well, there you go, Max.
You guys put a lot of thought into all your new baits, and we really appreciate all this good information, and I just can't wait to start throwing your product. It's going to catch a lot of fish. Great designs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out and throwing them myself. It's been winter time, and we're in that season right now.
Early spring.
It's time to go out and use them.
Yeah.
I'm sure Damien and I will both have them tied on when we're in Oklahoma next week.
Yeah. Good luck next week, James.
Yeah.
That's good luck. Plan. Good luck. That's awesome. I'll see you guys. I'll be there working the booth.
Yeah. Go ahead and mention that.
Yeah. If you guys are out there in Oklahoma, pick up this guy. If you guys are out there, we're doing something we've never done before. We're actually selling out of the booth. And we're actually able to do some crazy specials. So we're doing buy one, get one free on everything in our booth. So Copperheads, buy one, get one. Split blades,
nice.
Buy one, get one. We're going to have jaw droppers, buy one, get one. We're going to have tactical fluorocarbon, buy one, get one. 100% blue box, buy one, get one. We're going to have Endurex. The Endurex is going to be buy one, get a free CXX. So it's the only one that's a little different, but still, everything in the booth is a buy one, get one special. We're going to kill it. I had no idea how much I had to even bring to the show because it's our first time selling out of the booth. I'm sure I'll be busy.
You better
if anyone's ever been to the Classic, you know how busy it is. It's like Disneyland for adults.
I can only imagine.
You only move when the traffic moves, just kind of like LA traffic. When it moves, you move.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
The whole way.
That's awesome.
Right on. Yeah. I'll stop by Friday for sure when we're out there. I'm definitely going to stock up some more on some tactical and some Copperheads and all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thomas,
awesome.
Maybe do some Facebook Live or something like that so we could see what's going on while you're there. Like to see.
Yeah. No, if you guys are jumping on the First Gen Fishing Instagram page,
okay.
I'll do some live stories so I could show you guys the crowds out there and how crazy it really is. I mean, if you guys, I try to tell this to every consumer, if there is ever a show that I would travel to, it is the
That's
Classic.
the one. Yeah.
I mean, there's a feeling you get at the Classic that trumps every other. If you're a bass fisherman, okay, I will say that if you're a bass fisherman, which I'm guessing most people that are watching this are, but
Yeah.
if you're a bass fisherman and you enjoy the sport, that will just, it gives you goosebumps. Go to the weigh-in, it gives you goosebumps. Like, it'll make you feel like a kid. It'll make you feel like
Christmas
you want
when
to
you're
go
a kid.
fishing again to try to qualify for the Classic.
Yeah.
Because it truly is the pinnacle in our sport for a bass fisherman.
Yeah.
You know, as far as a
So
tournament.
you're saying there's a chance after this year you might come back?
so no, I mean, I'll be fishing tournaments, you know, and I'm sorry I'm not creating those tournament videos for you guys that like to watch that. I've been getting questions. When are you fishing the BAM trail or stuff like that? And look, I love all the tournaments out there. I'm not against any tournament out there. I wish I could fish them all, but here's the deal. There's a time, you know, for those tournaments, and just right now is just not that time for me. So you know, I got 3 little boys in the house.
That's your priority. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
I got
more
a
important.
1-month-old, I got a 4-year-old, I got a 7-year-old, and
you got your hands full with that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he
I've been
does.
trying to get them out, you know, trying to take them fishing a little bit, and trying to do what I can for the brand itself, you know. And I know when I'm out fishing tournaments, it's harder for me to promote the brand than when I'm behind my desk or, you know, designing baits and things like that. Like, a lot of times I don't have time for that when I'm out on the road fishing tournaments, but I could do more for you guys, for the general public, if I'm not fishing tournaments. I hate to say that because I love fishing tournaments. It's just, you know, I want to be able to get these things out to you. And I love, like I said, I love seeing people use what we've created and catching fish on it and having a good time. So,
Yeah.
The first gen brand has really come a long ways in a short time. It really has. And
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, your product really catches fish. I mean, it's some serious good stuff.
And I could see from one way, you know, if we made a bait, you know, and go out and catch them, I mean, how fulfilling that is. But you seeing massive people just catching big fish on your product, I mean, that's pretty fulfilling right there.
Oh
yeah,
For
no,
sure.
it is. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Tyler Rivette, who just came in second place in that Lake Fork event, you know, on the final day on championship Sunday, he actually caught a few fish on the Copperhead, and he put that in the article for top bait to use. He caught 125 pounds over 4 days,
Right.
over 30 pounds a day, you know. And on the championship Sunday, he used it, and he called me and said, "Hey, Thomas, just letting you know," because he's one of our pros. He's like, "Just letting you know, I did catch a few fish on the Copperhead today, and I'm gonna post, you know, I'm gonna post it on the article." I was like, "Oh man, that is awesome!" So guys are out there using this stuff, and that's what I love to see right there. You know, like, that's killer. So keep it coming. You know,
it's going to be a great product. You got a great brand, and you guys are going to go a long way with that for sure. I could definitely see this.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I
Keep
appreciate it,
good
guys.
Work.
Yeah. Yep. Let's get out and go fishing now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, you guys. Next week, I think we're gonna have a little preview about Clear Lake June, right, John?
With Kong Mua.
Kong Mu.
Yes.
So he should be on next Tuesday. Talk about the Bass Open. Our one and only chance in California to get qualified for the Bassmaster Kayak
Classic
Championship. Not classic, whatever. Yeah.
That's
so if you guys want to do, get a chance to go do that, be a part of that tournament. I will be leaving next Wednesday to go fish that tournament. Lake 10 Killer, myself, Damien Tao, Sean Beach, and Anthony Garcia, we are all headed back and give it our best shot.
Kong Yang. I think Kong Yang
is he going
too. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So it'll be 5 of us going back.
Yes.
We're up in California. See if we can't beat up on some of the East Coast boys and show them how we do it out
Kong
here.
Her. Kong Her or Kong Yang? Kongher. Right?
Copperhead,
I don't
yeah.
remember.
I think
Kongher.
it's
I think so.
Copperhead,
Her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kongher.
So, Thomas, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Don't
thank you,
forget
Thomas.
Yeah,
to
thank you, Thomas.
Yeah,
hit up
absolutely.
Jay
Thank you
up
guys.
at Hooked. He's got some first gen fishing stuff he keeps there all the time on shelves.
Yeah.
He's got
Hooked.com.
tactical there. Yep, hooked4life.com.
Hooked
He
for
keeps
life.
tactical
Yeah.
in there, guys. And we will catch you all next week. And you guys have a good weekend. Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
y'all
Might
have a
have
great
the
one.
winner of BAM. BAM tournament kicks off this weekend, kayak side, at Lake Tolick. If you have not signed up, let's get signed up.
We're going to interview
Reports
James
of 30-pound
Proko next week.
bags. Yeah, I doubt it. Not after yesterday.
After seeing what he did,
They were this big. No. So yeah, guys, don't forget to hop on that. Get on signed up. Fish it. See you guys next weekend at Tolick. This weekend at Tolick. And kick off the BAM season with a good showing.
Yeah, Tolick. Yeah,
That's
it's
all
gonna
I
be a good
got.
tournament.
John, anything else? We're good. Shane?
Just want to appreciate everybody coming and watching, and thank you,
Yeah.
Thomas. Great products
Thank
you
you
got.
all.
You know, can't wait to try them out, catch fish, and send you a bunch of photos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for the comments and have a good night. We'll see y'all later.
All right.
Y'all
Good
have
night,
a good
everybody.
one.